said, I told him, Mike, you're basically 60 years old. And he's like, you honestly think this kid's going to do anything to me? He's not good. He's not going to knock me out. He's not going to do this. And you saw him. He tripped when he was walking down the thing. He had a hard time walking up the stairs. He had a knee brace on. And Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him. He made a ton of money. And I know people are mad. You stayed home on a Saturday night, but you didn't pay for it. You know what I mean? And, you know, this is what Mike Tyson, when Mike Tyson shows up, everybody makes money, you know? Jake Paul is fucking, you know, I don't have to tell you guys. You guys know. Mike Tyson is the A+++ side of that thing. And he was right. Jake Paul couldn't do it to him. So he was right and I was wrong.
So Bill Haney came out giving his reaction to a very close friend of his, Mike Tyson, losing to Jake Paul, where he said, quote, 72,300. Respect to Jake, the face of boxing. Love it or hate it. Then a fan responded to Bill by saying, Devin Haney will never have a crowd like that. Only Tank. Bill said, you all the B word. Another fan told Bill, Mike Tyson, age 58, is a bigger draw than prime Jake. The crowd was 80% due to Tyson. I think Gigi giving Jake too much credit. 100% of the fans came to see the baddest man on the planet, still, Tyson. After all, Mike Tyson is the most famous man in the world, for a reason. Then Bill Haney clapped back with, it was MVP Promotions. You gotta take your hat off to Jake and salute Mike. End of the quote. Now, what's so shocking is that Bill Haney considers Mike Tyson a close friend. Better yet, he's like a brother to Bill Haney. I know this personally because Bill Haney talked to me about Mike Tyson. So it's shocking to see Bill Haney throw Mike Tyson under the bus the moment he loses at 58 years old by giving Jake all of the glory, by giving Jake Paul all of the credit for selling 72,300 seats, when Mike Tyson is the one who produced this mega event. This fight was huge, only because of Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson alone, the most famous man on the planet. Nobody cares about Jake or what he's doing, because if they did, then how come he never produced any numbers close to this his whole entire career? His last fight, nobody tuned in. The fight before that, and the fight before that, and the fight before that. People are not tuning in. They only tuned in to watch the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson. The most famous man on the planet, Mike Tyson. That's it, that's all. And that's a fact. The common denominator is Tyson, and I can prove it. When Tyson fought Roy Jones, he did 1.6 million pay-per-views. But when Jake fought Woodley in the rematch, they did like 60,000 on pay-per-view. It was a complete flop. When Mike Tyson fought Jake Paul, he did 60 million views on Netflix Live. When Jake fought Mike Perry, nobody tuned in. When Jake fought in Puerto Rico, for a reason, since nobody is tuning in, nobody tuned in. When Jake ended up fighting Nate Diaz and even Silver, he flopped on pay-per-view. These are huge flops because it ain't like Jake was fighting no names. He was fighting some of the biggest names in the UFC history. Nate Diaz and Silver, Woodley, etc., etc., etc. So for him to flop and not even produce like 100K on pay-per-view against these guys proves once again the common denominator is Tyson. When he fought Roy and when he fought Jake, these were mega fights for a reason. So Mike Tyson is the face of boxing still. It ain't Jake Paul. It ain't Canelo this year, nor Gervonta. Gervonta was before. However, Canelo was leading the charge this year until Mike Tyson took the throne. He's the current face of boxing. No difference than when Floyd fought Conor McGregor. Floyd was the face of boxing even after he retired. Even when Floyd came back to fight Logan Paul, he was the face of boxing that year. Mike Tyson, when he fought Roy Jones, he was the face of boxing that year. When Gervonta fought Ryan Garcia, he was the face of boxing that year. Mike Tyson, when he fought Jake Paul this year, he's the face of boxing because the face of boxing is the person who produces the most numbers on television, TV, pay-per-view, the gate, etc., etc., etc. It's the biggest event of the year in boxing. That's who the face of boxing is. Therefore, this is not up for debate. However, let Bill Haney tell it. He attributes all of this success that this fight produced to Jake Paul. He gave him all of the credit, and he said the face of boxing is Jake Paul. The truth is, due to Mike Tyson's financial situation, Jake Paul pretty much gave Mike Tyson enough money to fight him. He used Mike Tyson's name to sell this mega event by buying Mike Tyson's name. That's what Bill Haney should have had been pointing out. You would expect Bill Haney to say, Jake bought the face of boxing from Mike. If anything, that's what you would expect from Bill Haney to say about his good friend Mike Tyson instead of dissing him. I mean, that came off like Bill Haney is dissing Mike. For what, if you may ask? It ain't even like Bill Haney said the usual that his son Devin Haney is the face of boxing. Bill didn't even say that. He said that Jake is now the new face of boxing. Even old media is not saying that. Who needs old media when you have Bill Haney? I mean, that's Bill Haney's version of Shakur when he said, Fury beats Ali. Bill Haney believes Jake is the face of boxing because he bought Mike Tyson's name for a night. We all can agree the three biggest names in all sports. Matter of fact, let's take it a step further. The three biggest names from all of the celebrities that have ever existed are number one, Muhammad Ali, number two, Mike Tyson, and number three, Michael Jackson. Now, you can have Jordan in there, but there's some countries that don't know about Jordan. They don't know about basketball like that, but everyone knows about Muhammad Ali. Floyd is the biggest pay-per-view seller of all time. However, Muhammad Ali is actually bigger than the entire sport. He's bigger than boxing. And so is Mike Tyson. So for Bill Haney to give all the credit to Jake for the ticket sales, etc., is mind-blowing when it's Mike Tyson's name alone that sold the entire event. Let's get one thing clear. Mike Tyson's name alone is bigger than Devin Haney, Gervonta, Jake Paul, Canelo, Crawford. If you combined all of these names together, Mike Tyson is still a bigger name today than all of them. And I'm not talking about separating them and then comparing them. No, I'm talking about if you combined all of them and you compare them to Mike alone, Tyson is still a bigger name today. That's a fact that is not up for debate. Bill Haney started arguing with the fans, telling them and checking them by saying, look, it was MVP promotion for a reason. That's why Jake Paul is the face of boxing, not Mike Tyson. Jake sold 72,300 tickets, according to Bill. Which is ironic because Bill Haney told me and the public that Devin Haney, when he was fighting Ryan Garcia leading up to the fight, Devin is the face of boxing and he's the biggest star. The fight is selling because of Devin Haney, not necessarily Ryan Garcia. Even though it was Golden Boy Promotions. It wasn't Devin Haney Promotions. However, Bill Haney didn't say Ryan Garcia is the superstar. We are not, since we fighting under Golden Boy Promotions. Another thing, Mike Tyson doesn't have a promotional company at this stage of his career. Why will he? And why should he? Additionally, Eddie Hearn came out stating, Devin Haney doesn't have a real promotional company. He's only pretending to be a promoter. His company is pretty much just a name for show. That's what Eddie Hearn said, not me. So if that's the case, then why is Bill Haney saying it's MVP promotion for a reason? Listen, you will think that Bill Haney will tell the truth, especially when he knows the baddest man on the planet still, Mike Tyson personally. However, after Mike Tyson lost, it's like Bill Haney threw him under the bus with this move by giving Jake all of the credit for the gate, etc., etc., etc. The irony of it all, Crawford also came out critiquing Mike Tyson. I already made a video on that. I'm going to leave a link for that video in the comment section below. So check it out. Crawford said that the commentators were giving Tyson too much credit because he should have had through more than 97 punches. But ironically, Crawford was the main one defending Shakur for only landing 56 punches against Edwin De Los Santos, and majority of them were snappy jabs. They had no effect whatsoever. We never heard Crawford tell the public or Shakur that he should have had through more punches against Edwin De Los Santos. Ironically, on the other hand, Crawford is telling a 58 years old man to throw more punches. Does that make any type of sense? The math is not mathing. What makes this worse is that Bill Haney's son, Devin Haney, and Crawford are two of the most hated fighters in the world for no reason. They are high on the coincidental list. They deal with double standards every single day. They dealt with double standards all of their careers, and they both know it. Crawford even came out saying he don't understand why black people are always hating on their own. Then he started hating on Devin Haney without even knowing it, without even realizing it. He said, just like how they hating on Devin Haney, critiquing him for how he got beat up by Ryan Garcia, even though every time he got dropped, he got up. Why we don't support and champion Devin Haney for that, for being a warrior. Not once Crawford brought up Ryan Garcia cheating and taking PEDs to get the job done, along with missing weight. Which ironically, that's exactly what the haters do. They ignore that Ryan cheated. They ignore that Ryan cheated multiple ways by missing weight and taking PEDs to barely beating Devin. The fight was a draw on DAZN, according to DAZN. However, Crawford ignored all of that. He never mentioned Ryan cheating, but he's mentioning Devin Haney getting beat up and dropped by Ryan Garcia as if he's showing Devin Haney support. Well, I'll tell you this, with supporters like Crawford, who need haters? A supporter like Crawford is already doing the job that the hater do. This is Crawford's way of showing support. He don't even realize what he's doing or saying, that he's actually causing more damage than good. If you're gonna speak the truth, then speak the truth without being afraid. I mean, it almost came off like Crawford didn't want to mention that Ryan tested positive for PEDs because he didn't want to receive backlash, which threw me off because he's over here talking about or complaining about how black people are not supporting their own. Then when Mike Tyson loses at 58 years old, and he actually went the full distance with Jake Paul, he didn't get KO'd, instead of championing Mike at a low moment. What Crawford do? He shit on him. He trash him. Same goes for Bill Haney. And these are people that actually deal with double standards every single day, that dealt with the worst double standards in the sport of boxing. Bill Haney even knows Mike Tyson personally, but he's giving Jake all of the glory, all of the shine, all of the credit for what Mike Tyson did, for what Mike Tyson produced with his name alone. The problem here is people talk, but they don't apply what they say. They don't do what they say. Crawford is over here talking about black people are always hating on their own. He's trying to say basically how we can judge other people hating on us when we hating on each other. Meanwhile, he's doing exactly that. He kicked Mike Tyson while he was down, and he kicked Devin Haney while he was down, whether he realized it or not. Then Crawford and Bill Haney wonders why his son and Crawford himself, why they deal with these type of double standards. Well, y'all doing it to each other at this point. Let's not even talk about the people in the house. let alone outside of the house. We're talking about the people in the room. What goes around comes back around. With the opinions out of the door and the facts laid out on the table, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below. And to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Only God knows Crawford's intentions, but in reality, logically speaking, the only time what Crawford was saying about Devin Haney is considered support if Ryan never cheated. Then yeah, of course, you could talk about how Devin Haney got up, this, that, and the third. But since Ryan cheated, none of that matters. What matters is that Ryan cheated, so his win doesn't count. That's what Crawford should have had been saying, instead of mentioning Devin Haney getting beat up and dropped. What he should have been mentioning is Ryan cheating and testing positive for PEDs, which if you do so, no matter what you did, none of that counts. And that's why Ryan win was removed and Devin Haney loss was removed. And now he's back to undefeated for a reason, because Ryan cheated. None of what he did counts or matters. That's what Crawford should have had been pointing out instead of ignoring to talk about Devin Haney getting dropped. Furthermore,
I begged him not to do the Roy Jones fight. You're too old. I love you. I don't want to see you take any more punishment. So I set him up on Shark Week. He got paid good money. And he's like, you fucking... So he almost flipped out the last day and was ready to kill everybody on the boat because he had to jump in with all these sharks again in the middle of Florida. And he's like, this